My name is Jade and I'm going to be conducting today's nationwide auto titling training session. Before we begin, I want to give a brief overview on what our NAT site will be providing. TitleTech's web-based solutions generates the needed DMV forms and calculates all necessary fees and taxes to be collected at the point of sale for all 50 states. This solution eliminates the guesswork on out-of-state transactions while ensuring the dealer's titling department has the required documents needed to secure the customer's title and registration. NAT is a workflow facilitation system providing the dealer with the tools for the transaction. NAT is not directly connected to any state or agency, and it is ultimately still the dealership's responsibility to mail the work to the respective state or agency in order to complete the title and registration process. We are now going to begin using the NAT system. The web page displayed here is the site for the TitleTech Nationwide product. To access the website, go to home.titletech.com. You do not need to go there now. Once you receive your credentials, you will need to enter your credentials and select Login. Your login info is sent when the admin department creates the account. Keep in mind that the login is specific for your nationwide account, not T21 account. Today we are going to go over process, search, billing, and tools. I will discuss the function of each tab later, but first I want to show you how to contact us in case you have any questions when operating the website. In the right-hand corner of the screen, you will see our toll-free number of 1-855-378-5991. Also, if you prefer, you can email us at natsupport@titletech.com. To begin the process of creating a deal, select Start a New Deal in the middle of the screen, or you can choose the Process button located on the top of the screen. Either way, it will take you to the same screen. The next screen you will see is a map of the United States. If you take your mouse, you can hover over the state in which you are registering the vehicle. Again, please note that you will be selecting the state in which the vehicle will be registered in and not the state in which you are located in. In our case, the dealership, TitleTech, is located in Florida, but we are registering the vehicle in Arizona. Once you make your selection, you will choose your dealership, located on the left side of your screen. Once the dealership is selected, you will need to enter a deal number. If you have DMS integration, the deal number you enter will pull the information from your DMS system. NAT is compatible for integration with ADP CDK, Reynolds & Reynolds, and Dealertrack Arcona. Contact our admin department to verify if your dealership is set up with integration. If your DMS is not integrated, you will enter a deal number associated with your deal. This is usually the stock number or last 6 of the VIN for the vehicle. If I am loading the deal from DMS, I would click the Load Deal button. In this training, I am not loading a deal from DMS, therefore I am not going to click on the Load Deal button. The next field will automatically populate the purchase date as today's date. This information can be changed if necessary. If this information was loaded from DMS, the date of the deal would populate. The next step is entering your VIN number. I'm going to enter a random VIN number, but again, if this was imported from your DMS, this information would already be populated. Once my VIN is entered, I will click Load Vehicle. Once the vehicle is loaded, the VIN is decoded and the vehicle type should populate. Some states do base fees on the vehicle weight, so please verify that you have the correct vehicle type selected. The registering state will not be able to be edited once the deal has been loaded. This would be a great time to verify the registration state. Next, you will select your purchase type. You have the option to choose cash, finance, or lease. Next, you will need to select if you are transferring a plate or purchasing a new one for fee purposes. Since our system is not directly linked to any state, we will not transfer your license plate. We will only calculate the fees required for the transfer. We are selecting no today, but know that NAT will let you know if the state allows a plate transfer and what type of plate that is allowed to be transferred. Once you have chosen yes or no, you can click Full Deal or Fee Calc Only. Full Deal will produce both fees and forms for your deal. The Fee Calc Only option will only provide fees. Please note that if you chose to start with Fee Calc Only and would like to print the forms, you will have to select Convert to Full Deal and enter in the information into the gray fields in order for the forms to be complete. We will now proceed to a full deal. Once a full deal is selected, you will see a pop-up notifying you of a state-specific requirements for the specific deal you will be processing. You may decide if you would like to continue or cancel at this point. If you chose to continue with the deal, you will be directed to a new page. In this demo, you will also see a pop-up that states our VIN already exists. This informs the dealer that a deal has already been generated using the specific VIN. It can also mean that on a previous out-of-state deal, the vehicle was used as a trade-in vehicle. You can either access the previous deal or create a new deal. This is where you will enter the information for a deal. Before we begin, I want to point out a few things. At the top on the right side of the screen, you will see red X's next to fees calculated and forms generated. This means we haven't processed anything yet. Now on the left side, you will see the state that we can't change. Also, when we click on Edit Deal, you will see other options to choose from. We may not be able to change the state, but we can go in and edit purchase date, purchase type, deal type, and vehicle type. On this page, you will also see a menu bar located on the left side of your screen. You will see Owner, Vehicle, Trade-in, Purchase Info, Lienholder, Registration, Fees, and Print Forms tabs. Next to the label, you will see either a box outlined in red or a box with a green check mark. The box outlined in red indicates that information is required in order to calculate the fees. If the box has a green check mark, that means all fields required to calculate fees have been completed. Our first screen is the owner information. As you can see, the first name and last name fields are red. This means we must complete these fields in order to calculate fees. If these fields are not completed, you will not be able to calculate any fees. The other fields are required to generate the information to the forms. If these fields are left blank, you will still be able to generate fees. However, the information will not be displayed on your forms. Since we are doing a full deal, I am going to complete the blank fields to ensure my information is populated to my forms. Please note that most states do require that the license and address do come from that registering state. So in our case, we would need an Arizona license and Arizona address. Next, I am now going to explain how to search for a deal. The search function is located in the gray margin at the top of your screen. The search button allows you to recall a deal that has been saved or completed. I'm going to search for the deal using the deal number. You can also search a deal by entering any of the information there are blank fields beside. On the bottom of the screen, we will see the deal that we entered has been saved. As you can see here, if you completed the deal, the calculator will be highlighted and the forms would be highlighted. Also, if you hover over the I, it will let you know who created the deal and what type of deal it is. By clicking on Full Deal, it will recall the deal. This will allow us to change information if needed. Now that we are back and we have entered in all the information on the Owners tab, we can proceed to the next tab. As you can see, the red box that was previously located next to the Owner tab on my menu bar is now checked green, showing that all information required to calculate fees has been entered. The next tab is the Vehicle tab. You can get there by clicking on Next at the bottom of the page or by clicking on the Vehicle tab. Either way, it will take you to the next tab. When we loaded the deal on the main page, it decoded the VIN for us. You will want to double check this to make sure the information is correct. At this point, you are able to edit the VIN number. You can change it here if it is wrong and reload the VIN information. This will decode it with the new information. If the incorrect vehicle or state was selected, you can exit the deal completely and start over. To exit the deal completely, you can click on the Title Tech logo at the top left corner of your screen. No fees will be charged until the deal is in a completed status. On this page, if you have a used vehicle, the system will ask if it is a new or used vehicle. If it is used, you will need to input the previous title state. If you don't have a title or the vehicle is not showing up in your state system, we have a tool that can help. The tool is called Nimbidus. You will need to copy and paste your VIN and select the dealership. Nimbidus is a tool that will allow you to search the title history. It will display what the previous title state is and if it is branded junk or salvage. It will give you the highway and city MPG and sometimes lien holder information. If you do get a pop-up like this on my screen, it does state that you can either pull the report somebody else previously pulled on that VIN, or you can create a new one. Either way, you will get a report. There are about 6 or 7 states that aren't currently reporting to this service, and the states that are reporting and are in real time or less frequently, such as every 24 hours or within a period of days. Because of this, it's possible a record will not populate and there won't be a charge. However, if a record populates, there will be a charge of $2.50. In this report, it shows Arizona is the previous title state. We are going to go back to the vehicle screen now and input that information. As you can see for this example, we are required to enter the MSRP for the vehicle. Note, not every state asks for the MSRP. If you hover over this field, a message will appear. This message basically states that you cannot guess on the MSRP because if you do guess, the VLT or vehicle licensing tax will be incorrect. When these pop-ups show up, they are called tooltips. Tooltips are there for more explanation of the fields and to give more information. It is very important to enter the correct information into this field because this figure will generate a fee. You do not want to guess or estimate a number to put into this field, or the fees will be incorrect. Once all information is entered, you can proceed to the next screen. The next tab is the trade-in information. If there is a trade, you can enter the information here. You have the option to enter up to 4 different trades, and you can input the lien holder information for each trade. The information entered into this section will be populated to the forms. For this example, we will not load a trade vehicle and we will proceed to the next screen. The next screen is your purchase information. You will need to complete all fields on this screen. If there is a field not being used, you must enter a 0 in order to proceed. In the taxable section, you will find figures that will produce your taxable base. The taxable section is dynamic per state, therefore the information will change based on the registration state. These are the only taxable amounts in this state, but each state is different, so some may have 6, some may have 2, but they do vary. You also have the option to choose whether or not you are shipping the vehicle. The option will affect how sales tax is calculated and submitted. Today we are going to be shipping this vehicle. You can ignore the maturity date because this maturity date is only for lease deals and today we are doing a finance. Before we leave this page, let's talk about taxable and non-taxable. Under the taxable heading, every field will affect the taxable amount in one way or another. It will either add to it or subtract from it, but it will affect the taxable amount. You will not see this calculation on this page, it will calculate on the fees page. Now that all fields are complete, we can move on to the next tab. The next tab is your lien holder information. We are not mapping the address information for your lien holder from your DMS if you are integrated. The reason for this is because the lien holder information can change per state. The address may not be the same for one state as it is for another, and if the address is entered wrong, you may be required to apply for a title correction. You must contact your lien holder to verify how they would like the name and address to read along with their lien holder code for the state in which you are registering the vehicle if necessary. Please keep in mind that if it does get kicked back, it is not the state that kicks back the lien holders, it's the lien holders themselves. If you put in incorrect address information and the lien holder has a different one that they want, they will kick it back. So that's why we say you should contact your lien holder to verify. If you have additional lien holders, you can add them by choosing the Add Lien Holder button located above the address information to the right. Once all of the information is entered, you can choose Next to continue. The next tab is the registration information. You will need to complete the required fields. In this example, I need to choose the registration county and city in which the vehicle will be registered. The registration county is required because this system will provide an address to the DMV located closest to the customer. As you can see, when I selected the county, a guide contact was provided on the bottom of the screen. In this example, you will see the option to use PTA. PTA means a private tag agency. We have partnered with many private tag agencies in different states. PTAs will process the work much faster than a regular DMV location and will help avoid the deal from being rejected or the paperwork being lost. Most PTAs charge an additional fee to use their service. If this box is unselected, We will provide addresses to DMV locations located near the customer based on their county. Not every state will have the option to use a PTA. The PTA option is only for states that currently have private tag agencies available. In this example, we are going to choose to use the PTA. If you hover over the insurance company field, you will see a pop-up notifying you that the customer must provide Arizona insurance with at least one registrant on the policy. Once all the fields are completed, we can calculate fees located on the bottom of the page in blue. Before we calculate any fees, please check to make sure your state is correct and if the VIN number is correct. If it is, then you can proceed. If the deal is not ready to be completed, the deal can be saved for later. No fees will be charged until the deal is in a completed status. We will proceed with the deal and calculate the fees. If you are a dealer that gets charged per fee calculation, this is where you will be charged. Once the fees are populated, you will see the registration fees and sales tax fees displayed on the page. Before we go into the fees page, I want to tell you a few more things. You may not be able to change the state or the VIN number, but you can change things like the customer's name, address, lien holder, etc. Once you do, you will need to recalculate the fees. You will not be charged this time for the fee calc. If you are a dealer that gets charged per fee calculation, you are only charged the first time you calculated the deal. After that, you can calculate fees multiple times for the same deal and you are only charged once. At the top of the fees page, you will see the taxable amount. This will be the amount that the tax rate is calculated off of. Next, you will see a breakdown of the title and registration fees and sales tax. Towards the bottom of the screen, you will see fee and tax summary. This informs the dealer what amount to collect from the customer and the amount that needs to be sent to each state. We have also provided notices on the bottom of the page to inform the dealer of additional information. It is important to pay attention to the notices because they provide information pertaining to your deal. The next step is printing forms. If you would like to print only the fees page, you would select the button Print Fees. This will print only the fees page you see now on your screen. If you are having trouble viewing the forms, please disable the pop-up blocker to access the forms. If you are using Chrome, it will be in the top right side of the browser window. If you are using Internet Explorer, it will be on the bottom middle of the page. The Print Fees page will provide you with only the fees required for your deal. If you select Print Registration Forms, we will provide you with the necessary documentation and checklist required for your specific deal. Please note that the forms generated for you pertain to your deal only. If you do not need the forms to be generated, you may stop here to avoid an additional fee for printing forms. If the forms are printed, additional fees will be charged by clicking on the blue box labeled Print Registration Forms. This will allow you to print all the forms pertaining to this deal. The forms will include a checklist for both F&I and the title clerk, a list of requirements needed in order to complete the deal, and any state-specific documents required by the state. The first part of the page is a checklist and a list of requirements for the deal for this F&I. This information is important for finance because it provides very detailed instructions and requirements to complete the title and registration. If we take a look at the second part of the page, we can see a list of items that are required by the state of Arizona in order to have the work processed with no delay. Each state has different requirements and will vary per state. The next couple of pages are state-specific documents required to title the vehicle, such as the title application, odometer, power of attorney, and authorization letter. The last document is a detailed checklist for the title clerk. A reminder to include a prepaid return envelope for completed tag work will be found here. This list itself explains the items required to complete the deal and where to mail the work to. After that second checklist, there is contact information for the PTA or DMV in which you are sending your paperwork to. If you have any questions on the process or how long the process is taking, you can call that number and they can give you more information. After that, it is a deal summary. We do suggest that you go over the deal summary to make sure that there's nothing incorrect that you might accidentally register the vehicle with wrong information or get the vehicle and deal kicked back for. Again, these forms are specific to your deal. We have now fully completed a deal. Next, we will be going over the Billings tab. The Billing tab will provide your statement. The account statement will show payment and invoice transactions, account number, and billing cycle. If you would like to specify your start and end dates, manually enter the dates. Otherwise, select Search to retrieve the statement with the defaulted date range. Once the statement is retrieved, you will see your account number that begins with TTI. This number was assigned to your dealership and is used for internal purposes. The section labeled Invoice Transactions displays the transactions submitted and the cost per transaction. The section labeled Payment Transactions displays the payments that have been received. You can export the forms to Excel or print a report. Also, the date range you create at the top of the page pulls up all the deals that were completed during that time. As well as if you click on the deal ID on those deals, it will tell you who created it, who edited it, and what dates those were on, along with the VIN information. At this time, we have covered the deal process, and you should have a clear understanding that this system is not connected live with any state and is used solely for retrieving the correct fees and documentation to complete out-of-state deals. We are now finished with today's training session. Train support representatives are available 7 days a week until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by calling 855-378-5991. You may also reach support via email at natsupport@titletech.com. Thank you for attending the Nationwide Auto Trailing session.